don't leave now. Don't leave now because you see me recording. Don't leave now because you see me recording. Do not leave now because you see me. This way. Yeah, the use of the ice cream truck. Alright, exposing all this shit, man. Let me tell you. Alright? Like I said, you know, these people are being manipulated, but they don't know that part of the experiment is on them too. Right? The US government, the white supremacists, right? Operating covertly within the black community, manipulating us, right? Covert warfare, covert psychological warfare, weaponizing us against each other, right? And then villainizing those who they can't control, those who they deem as a threat. Again, not a threat to public safety, because we know who the real threat to public safety are and is, right? It ain't us as TIs, and it ain't us as black people. We're a threat, back to us as black people, we're a threat to white supremacy and white supremacists. We are a threat because they have stolen our history from us. They have stolen our identity. And when you seek to restore yourself, your mind, your consciousness in its proper form, which is the African consciousness, which is knowledge, understanding, not belief. Knowledge and understanding, not belief. Right? Knowledge of the sciences, right? To better our people. Knowledge of history, so that we never forget who we were. Okay? What has been hidden from us? What has been stolen from us? All right? So one of the things today that I've noticed also is, again, how they will use Arabs, these lighter skinned white Arabs, who, again, are used as a tool against black people in America, just as how the lighter skinned Hispanics are used as a tool against black people in America, just as how the Asians are used as a tool against black people in America, right? Just as how the Indians are used, particularly those from India, are used as a tool against black people in America, right? But, you know, they got the niggerpeons who want to have their place amongst those that don't even want them there, but they're only tolerating them there because there are laws which they will soon get rid of, and they have gotten rid of some of them already, right? To remove us from where they don't want us to be. But, you know, we are too ignorant in our minds. We are too small-minded. Whereas before, we had the minds of giants. Not mean giants speaking in terms of, you know, actual physical giants, because again, everything outside of us, they create some physical lie, like Jesus, right? Christ is within you. It is your conscious mind. It is going from unconscious and unaware to consciously aware, right? Higher level of consciousness. And we have in the past great thinkers, big thinkers, who build monuments, who build statues 30 feet high, 40 feet high. Come here. What are you doing? Listen, you got to be careful, all right? You have to be careful. If the handle is too low, lift it up. Lift up the handle. Come on, use your mind. Use your brain, okay? Hold on a second. I'll pause this. There you go. All right, it's better, right? Again, you know, I know she's tired, but I have to keep telling you, you got to use your brain. The handles are too low, so you know, make it difficult for you to balance. All right. Second time she fell and she didn't even think about it, but you know, like I said, this is what happened when they manipulate her mind, particularly when we was in the house and they hijack her consciousness. Same thing happened with me too. You know, whenever they hijack my consciousness, you know, there's a period of time afterwards where, you know, I forget, right? My, you know, my short-term memory is greatly affected. to where like if I'm thinking about when I was doing something and they hijack my consciousness, afterwards I forget what I'm doing and get confused. So imagine them using the technology on a child, right, and what it does to children. And they know, like I said, and they hide, they try to get away with it. They try to say, okay, it's your fault as a TI. No, it's not. Well, if you have a problem with me, then you attack me, right? Obviously, it's not a problem with me. Obviously, it's a problem with your lies and your deception, your manipulation, and the fact that I'm exposing it. So what? Yeah, you can shake your keys all you want, motherfuckers. Look, you're looking over here at the where we go to jiu-jitsu, right? So he's shaking his keys, and as you walk past me, look over in that direction. Again, look at the direction he's going in. So why is he looking back there, shaking his keys, right? This way, Alyssa, this way. So yeah, get in the community to hate, and then trying to make it seem like you're hated. I want you to understand that. They radicalize people to hate you, right? And then when you hate them back, then you're full of hate. You understand? Right? You know what I'm saying? They're showing up all of their patterns over the past couple of days, and I love it. I love it because I'm gonna expose it, right? I'm gonna expose it. I'm gonna continue to expose it. But this is what they do. They create hate, and when you hate them back because they hate you, right? Then they call you a hater. I don't love nobody that don't love me, right? I will defend myself against anybody. I don't care what they look like. If they attack me, I'm gonna attack them. Simple as that. My name ain't Jesus, okay? My name ain't Martin Luther King. Okay, you can call me Malcolm X. You can call me Dr. Khalid Muhammad. You can call me Abba Mr. Louis Farrakhan. Right? You can call me Nat Turner. You can call me Maurice Bishop. Right? You can call me Fidel Castro. Right? You can call me Hugo Chavez. You can call me Assata Shakur. Right? You can call me Harriet Tubman. Right? You can call me Patrice Lumumba. Right? You can call me Nelson Mandela before he got released, because they did a hell of a job on his mind. Right? You can call me those brave men and women who fought colonialism. Those brave men and women who fought white supremacy. I will be all of them, because they are me and I am them. So this is the mindset that they don't want us to have. This is the mindset that they try to instill within us, fear. If they're cutting your head off, you cut their head off. Okay? If they're abusing you, you abuse them. If they're poisoning you, you poison them. LPW 3294. Every corner, they park the vehicle with the number 32 in the license plate. Right? Like I said, if they poison you, you poison them. Right? So here's one thing that they will do. Right? They'll use a white man with a black Sambo, right, to engage in like, oh look, we're together. Let me tell you, you gotta understand the way how some personalities work, how some people work, how they work to manipulate us against each other. And because they understand that they've conditioned our mind to love them while they hate us in ways that we are not recognized to see. Right? Always remember that. White people hate us in ways in which we have been conditioned not to see. Right? So when I talk about New York City public school system, most segregated. Right? Black children across this nation in the public school system. Right? The education is being degraded. Okay? Black schools who I should say public schools who predominantly black children who succeed, right? They get accused of what? Cheating. They get accused of all sorts of things, and then they want to close the school down. You know, Mega Everett, which my son goes to, Mega Everett Preparatory School, very good school, right? Majority of children that go there, black children, excelling. They're taking Chinese. They are graduating high school with an associate degree. And what did white people do? They said, no, we can't have that. No, we got to get rid of that program. That's what they're doing, right? But these are the things that they don't talk about. These are things that we don't talk about, right? Because we've been conditioned with what? A domesticated mind, right? To be silenced, to not speak out, right? Remember, they can hate you. They can poison our children in the public housing sector. They can lie. They can go in front of judges and say, Your Honor, you know, the apartments have been cleared of lead, right? And then be called out by the judge to say, you're lying. You're lying. And one thing that they do, because they are so smart, is that they only focus on a generation of children today who's been poisoned with lead, but they don't talk about the older children who are poisoned as well. They don't talk about the teenagers who were raised in that same apartment, who grew up in that lead paint apartment, who are affected by lead, right? They almost, I would estimate, over millions, I would say millions of young black children from the 1980s who are now adults, who are now my age, and even older, affected with lead. But, you know, they don't want us talking about that, right? Because again, when you condition the people to think individually, you know, they're not going to complain about these things, right? They're going to say, okay, it's not my children. Really? But do you know in the public housing sector, not public, I'm sorry, the private housing sector, are you taking his money? He's saying, yeah. Did you know this, the private housing sector, these landlords, these Jewish slumlords, right, left lead paint in apartment buildings that they rent to black people? Did y'all know that? Do you know that? Do you know that New York City government, who know for decades you had slumlords, Jewish slumlords, that had black people, black and Hispanic people living in horrible apartments, rat infested, holes, mold. For decades they didn't do anything. Okay? Decades. And recently, the New York Attorney General, Letitia James, got something like I forget how many millions it was, but it was low millions. It was low, like $2.something million for tenants living in certain apartments today, apartment buildings, right by these slumlords. But what happened to the decades of families, black women and children, who are living in squalor-like conditions, but still paying rent, whether it be through Section 8, or whether it be because they're working 2-3 jobs, right? What happened to those people? So when I talk about short-term memory, this is what this technology does to us, is that not only do they engage in psychological manipulation, deceptions, right? But they engage in what? Using this technology, particularly amongst black people, in areas that's predominantly black people. And like I said, why do you think white people came back into the community and gentrified? Because they knew they had already set up a program for us, right? Because let me tell you, the white people move into our community, right? But black people are still the ones robbing each other. They're not robbing the white people, right? They're not robbing the white people. They're still robbing other black people, right? Those that engage in that activity, right? You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Y'all got to think. Y'all got to think. They have domesticated our minds, and they know exactly how they did it. And I know exactly how they did it. And their children knew exactly how they did it, right? Why do you think there was a time when You know, you had these white children talk about how their parents are so racist, right? And it wasn't children in Mississippi, Alabama. It was children here in New York, in Chicago, right? In other large urban cities, right? But guess what? The white parents put their foot down. I will disown you if you continue to speak the truth. So now they got their children, what, under wraps, right? So now they're not going to continue to expose their dirty deeds and their dirty conversations that they have around the dinner table, right? Hey, Lissa, where you going? Pay attention. Come on. Come on, pay attention. All right? Pay attention. You got to look at the street signs, right? You know where you live, right? Come on. But nigger peons going to be nigger peons. And I'm going to keep calling them nigger peons until they wise up. I'm not calling them a black man or a black woman. You're a nigger peon man and you're a nigger peon woman. All right? I'm a black man. And the reason why I'm a black man because I know my history. The reason why I'm a black man because Christianity has taught me that being a nigger peon is no good. Right? That it only serve white people. It only serve white people. They only serve white people. Okay? Because we don't serve each other. We despise the fact that other black people are doing good to other black people. Right? We despise the fact that me not being Christian, I donate computers every single year, right, with my kids, right, to their classmates so that they can have computers in the house, right? Now, I may not be able to donate, there's only 2 computers a year. I mean, I'm on disability, but hey, if I don't do that, I'll donate sneakers, right? And they hate it. They hate that. They hate that. Why? Because they only speak about stuff like that. They don't do it. Why? Self-hatred. A hatred of each other. Right? Why should I do this for this person? Nobody do nothing for me. That's our mindset. Right? That is our mindset. Nobody do nothing for me, so fuck that. I'm not doing anything for anybody else, I'm all about me and mine. Right? That's the individual mindset. Because you see, as a community, if you're not teaching your children, if you're not looking out for each other and each other's children, then guess what? The people who are not educating their children is going to have a negative effect. Their kids are going to have a negative effect on your kids. Right? You can't escape that. But this is what they want. This is the trap. This is the setup. This is how they use us. This girl always falling. I know. I shouldn't even say she always falling, but again, being hit with the technology, you loss of balance, right? Now, when we was on our way there, she did not even fall once. And because we were at the, LCU 8327, license plate number. But when we were when she was doing the jiu-jitsu, they were engaging in psyops, right? So, for example, one of the assistants who was standing next to her saw that, he wasn't even trying to correct her form until I had to say something, right? Because they were trying to silence me. They were trying to not get me to say anything. So what they were doing is ignoring her, right? When she wasn't doing the exercise properly, he was helping the other kids that was there, but he wouldn't help her until I stood up and said, listen, I went to talk to the other guy. I said, listen, you know what? He's not even helping her. Obviously, she's not doing the form right. Look at her stance. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to step in and say something, right? And when I did that, you had some of the parents there, sticking their fingers in their ears, targeting, that sort of shit. But, it is what it is, man. But like I said, they cannot silence me at all. Will not let them silence me. It's taking me a little longer to get back here because, again, I was trying to get her to class on time, even though we're late. But, whenever I walk that like that, and again, I wasn't even walking fast. I was just walking like how he's walking right there in front of me, right? This should be like a normal pace, you know what I'm saying? But that's my ability of walking fast, you know what I'm saying? Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, all right.
All right. So, you know, like I said, they know what it is that they're doing, and I know what they're doing. And here's the thing: despite what they do, the fact is the fact that I'm injured. Right? That they damaged my spine, and no matter what they try to do to say, okay, he's not really hurt, so let's take a disability away. The fact is that with an injury like mine, you can't repair it. You know what I'm saying? At least not by doing what they're doing. All they're doing is making it worse. But maybe that's what they want, right? Maybe that is what they want. Maybe that is what they want. So, yeah, like I said, it ain't no fight. It ain't no flight here. It's going to be fight from going forward. And the more aggressive they come at me, is the more aggressive response they're going to get from me. Okay? Well, I gotta go take a muscle relaxer. Shit. As I said that, I hear the New York Predator Department in the background. I mean, you know, talk about cruelty, right? Cruelty. So when they get their taste of cruelty and they're complaining, guess what? As my friend in California, Alda, says, fuck him. Right? Because that's what they want, right? My friend Alda Calvin said, you know, when they start getting treated with cruelty, fuck them. Because they didn't want to listen. All right? So, yeah. Anyhow. Like I said, it ain't no flight here. All right? You're trying to exhibit the fight or flight, or trying to elicit, I should say, the fight or flight phenomenon. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. You're going to get the exact opposing force, the exact same level of opposing force. All right? As I look over at the BMW gray vehicle. Yeah, they're using a lot of grays. So this is what they do. This is what they do. Oh, by the way, too, they will send me subliminal message and say, oh, you can leave. Fuck y'all, I ain't going nowhere. My purpose, like I said, is greater than y'all's. Right? Regardless of who you use. Right? My purpose is greater than yours. All right? My purpose is to bring awareness to my people. All right? To show them the truth. All right? To not continue to be abused and used. All right? And we got to radicalize our children even more. They're radicalizing their children. So we got to radicalize our children. And we got to radicalize our children in a way that's going to serve them and us as a group. Meaning that radicalize them by teaching them the truth. Right? Putting them in classes for self-defense. Teaching them how to use weapons properly. Teaching them military tactics. Teaching them psychological tactics. Right? Because that's what they're doing with their children. They're passing on their knowledge to the next generation of how to manipulate us. So we got to pass on our knowledge to the next generation of how to stop them. Simple as that. Like I said, I'm willing to die for what I know. But are they willing to die for what they believe in? All right, talk to you guys in the next video.